With more than a month left in Indiana's hunting season, permit sales are already setting records. As Clayton Baumgarth reports, experts have a few guesses as to why.
Brad Herndon sits in his living room of his quaint cabin in Brownstown. He's getting ready to go out in the woods nearby for deer.
Been living off the land ever since I was a little boy because that's what my mom and dad did.
In the spring, he and his wife Carolyn pick wild asparagus and mushrooms along the road and fish for bluegill. When fall comes and hunting season starts, it's all about squirrel, deer, and turkey meat, with squirrel being their favorite.
Nothing makes as good a gravy as squirrel gravy. Anybody that's ever had it will agree with you on that.
Brad is a longtime believer in homesteading to stay within his means. He sets the standard for what some Hoosiers are trying to achieve this hunting season. Since COVID hit in 2020, hunting has become more popular. Many newcomers tried their hand at the hobby to get out of the house. This year, those large numbers are increasing even more. Almost 113,000 deer have been harvested in the state this year, and that's before the end of the season. It's a 7-year high. Local meat processors say their intake is up noticeably over last year.
In bow season, we normally do 100 deer up until the first day of gun season. This year we did about 125, almost 130, so that was up 1/3 over normal.
Business got so crazy that Arnold had to stop accepting deer to process earlier than usual. Within the first 2 days of gun season, they took in 125 deer.
Some other processors, they may take in more or less, but from my understanding, almost everybody filled up the first weekend, and then the phone was going crazy all week long.
Arnold believes that high food prices are encouraging more people to hunt this year. In Owen County, hunters are allowed to harvest 2 does and a buck every season. Usually, hunters get their trophy buck and call it a year. But in 2022, Arnold noted that they're processing more doe than usual.
They're going out now for the does for the freezer meat. The buck went in the freezer too, but they want to get, because once season's over, there's no chance to go out and bag a deer for the freezer.
Arnold isn't worried for the deer population, nor does he believe that meat processors like him will have trouble meeting demand. The consensus from conservationists is that an influx of new hunters driven by a need to save money at the meat counter may be the culprit of this busier than normal season.
I think people are looking for that place to procure their own food and take some of that expense out of the grocery stores and kind of take responsibility for that on their own.
Some hunters may think too many people are hunting now, but for Stites, it's ultimately a good thing for conservation. Hunting licenses are a major source of income for the DNR.
Without those people purchasing licenses and getting out in the field and buying equipment, our conservation funding is going to be lacking.
Conservation efforts such as monitoring for diseases and taking care of habitats would be dead in the water if not for the funding that comes from hunting license sales. Hunting seasons like this one excite Stites. Her hope is that these inflationary hunters stick around for years to come.
I definitely would like to see the license sales go up, but I want it to go up for the right reasons. I don't want to just throw people in the field because that's my job. I care more about creating conservationists than I do creating hunters or anglers or trappers.
Certainly, Brad Herndon is one of those conservationists whom Stites wants to cultivate. For him, it isn't just the financial savings that keep him hunting. It's the ability to slow down and be in touch with nature.
I just think it's just a great lifestyle to live. I really do. To focus on nature and your family can become involved in that, and it's just a relaxing time to be out there.
For Indiana News Desk, I'm Clayton Baumgarth.
If you'd like to donate your deer meat to the needy, the state DNR has a program called the Sportsman's Benevolence Fund. Last year, they accepted more than 45,000 pounds of deer meat.